Hello and welcome back, guys, to Sound of Manchester. Today we are here again for the last time in 2019 for our review of Burnley and our preview for the next game against Arsenal, the big one. We would like to start with Smith, who is here with us today, along with Atharv and Brandon. So, Smith, I would like to hear your views on performance against Burnley at Turf Moor.
Yeah, so I think it was a pretty good performance after that 4-1 win at home against Newcastle. Everyone expected us to, not be consistent and probably drop points away from home. And it was, one of those games where you were like before the game you think like is today Burnley's day? Are they going to walk us over? Is it going to be another upset? But then I think we did really well. The one thing that I think was weird before the game was I think Pogba's exclusion from the squad, and I think he should have been on the bench. But then we don't know how bad his injury was, so I think it's a well-deserved rest for him, knowing that we have the big one coming up against Arsenal next. And speaking of a performance, I think I like to pick out two players that really caught my eye. I think first was Fred, and the second was Brandon Williams for me. Speaking of Fred, I think all of us slated him. I think around a year back when Mourinho signed him, and he was he was not picked frequently. He was shitty on the ball. His passes were not good enough. But then yeah, I think he's really stepped up, and I think Ole's been working with him, and I think he looks pretty comfortable with the Pereira or a McTominay. And when it comes to Brandon Williams, I think at 19, when you go to a place like Turf Moor and seeing the pressure that you have as a United player, I think that was a phenomenal performance, and I think he was voted the man of the match if I'm not wrong, and I think rightly so because he is everything that Luke Shaw isn't. Correct? He's good going forward. He's two-footed and he crosses the ball really well. He tracks back when required. So I think all in all, it was a very good performance. Rashford getting his 12th goal of the season, and Martial, of course, with another quality finish. So I think I think Ole and the team should be happy with what they saw at Toughmore and upward and onwards towards Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a very decent performance that we had. And also, another thing that was really precious at Turf Moor was the clean sheet which we got, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been dying for those, right? I think we've gone like 13 games without a clean sheet, and with the amount of money we put in with De Gea's new contract, with Van Bissaka, with Maguire's world record fee, I think the defense, it was we thought it was sorted, but there were just glimpses of you know so I'm glad we did get a clean sheet. Daya made a couple of good saves but Young again. Van Bissaka did not start, so Young was I think he was fine as well, and I think Maguire will be the happiest. Maguire and Lindelof, they both of them should be the happiest after that clean sheet.
Yes, and talking about something that is looking slightly sorted right now, Anthony Martial is gaining some form since coming back in the team, and it does seem like he is picking up his stride slowly and steadily, and probably forming a very good partnership with Marcus Rashford. Athar, how do you rate his performance yesterday, and do you feel that he's some come back into his stride again?
Yeah, definitely he was at the top of his game in yesterday's performance. He did all the things just absolutely right, and we have seen good linking up between Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial this season. But then, just not to steal his thunder, I won't be pretty much excited, considering the fact that we all know that we, as a whole team, we lack consistency in our performances. So, like, it won't surprise me if he doesn't turn up for the next match. But then I really hope he does, because when he's at the top of his game, he's a different person. He's a different personality on the pitch, and he does everything right, from tracking back on the pitch and scoring wonderful goals. He does everything on point. So I really hope he carries this, and I hope this is a new year brings the Marshall we know.
Yeah, rightly so. I think Anthony has been slightly on and off during his time at United, and we really, really hope that 2020 is his year. Talking about someone who actually had a very good game last night, and I think Brandon Williams, who was the man of the match, put in another splendid performance and probably raised a lot of eyebrows when Luke Shaw was preferred over him. But now that Brandon played yesterday, he played very, very well, and uh, we have a Brandon with us. So, Brandon, what are your views about Brandon Williams?
Hello there. I'm really glad with Ben Williams' performance. I watched the highlights. I couldn't watch the match, unfortunately. But from what I saw of his game, he is really good going forward, and he has no fear. That's what I love about him. That's what I love about Brandon Williams. And I think, as Smith said, he is everything that Luke Shaw isn't. And I think we need to not start him more often, but include him in more games as much as possible because experience counts, right? Once you get hands-on experience, that's how you keep doing well. And I think there's a lot of scope for Brandon Williams to do well in that way. Defensively, he is a bit shaky, but then again, he has no fear. So he's what we need right now. Luke Shaw is not even half the player Brandon Williams is. So yeah, I'm pretty much happy about it, and I would be glad if he would start the next game against Arsenal because I think he deserves it. Deserves it by a mile. Yeah.
Talking about Arsenal, United Arsenal has been such a great rivalry over the years, and probably slightly has not been up to the mark, but the in the recent few years. But we traveled to Arsenal on New Year's Day, and a pretty exciting fixture is upon us. How would you rate this fixture, Smith? What do you think United's tactics will be against Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we have Arteta and Ole right now, but then you can't deny the fact that it's Arsenal versus Manchester United. It's always going to be a a good game. Defensively, we know Arsenal is just we can't even question their defense. It's horrible. You saw the game today. They were 1-0 up, and in the last 10 minutes of the game against Chelsea, they just screwed it up, and Chelsea took away all the 3 points from the Emirates. So attack if we go all in, if we start, if James, Martial, and Rashford are on top of the game on the first, I think Martial and Rashford will be a handful for the Arsenal defense. And today I think they had an injury in Callum Chambers as well, and Mustafi had to come in. So I don't need to tell you how bad a footballer Mustafi is. So I think it should be a pretty good game. But then in such games, emotions can affect you. So I'm pretty positive about the next game, but then you never know when it's Arsenal versus.
Yeah, we. I think you mentioned about Arsenal having bad players, but there is one very, very good player they have in their team, that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And considering our defense, it does look likely that Aubameyang might have chances if he even if he doesn't score in the game. So, Athar, what do you feel we need to do as a team to stop the likes of Aubameyang or Nicolas Pepe to score against us? I think our defense had a clean sheet last time out, but against top sides we haven't kept clean sheets. So, how do you think we have to go about it?
Yeah, what I feel is most important is that we don't have those switch off moments that we have in the game. Like you take the Liverpool game, you take even the Arsenal game that we had, and we could have easily won both those games. But then our defense had a switch off moment, and then we just gifted them the goal. So we just need to be aware of like all the threats and all the attacks they are making. We need to stop it. And the thing is that I believe the defense would be having a really feel good factor with the clean sheet that we have got. And I really hope the defense puts in a solid performance and especially um, take care of the threats in terms of Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Yes, it is indeed very important for us to take care of the two strikers, but also going forward, we do have a threat ourselves. And what do you think our lineup will be against Arsenal? Brandon, would you like to have Brandon Williams in the team instead of Shaw again, or would you go for Luke Shaw? Also, would Paul Pogba start?
Yeah, Brandon Williams should definitely start because I think he deserves it. After his previous game. Luke Shaw, not yet. I think as he came on as a sub, right? I don't think he did anything better than Brandon Williams. So I think Brandon Williams should start as left back for us against Arsenal. About Pogba, I think he will start, and I think Ole rested him especially for the Arsenal game. I hope that he starts. Because Fred and Matic would start, I'm assuming, because McTominay wouldn't be available. And I think Pogba should start in a more advanced position, as we all want him to see him behind Martial, or linking up with Rashford and James. I would also like to see Greenwood coming as a substitute, because I'm dying to see Pogba and Greenwood link up. I hope that happens in the Arsenal game, and I hope we beat them to the ground. And I think we will go with a similar formation as usual, as we always go with it, and we'll play on the counter, obviously. So that's all. I think that's going to be the tactic and the formation for us. Yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, I think before I hear about predictions from everyone during the game, I would like to put out an interesting statistic here. Manchester United are without a clean sheet against Arsenal in their last 13 games. 1-3, 13 games. So we really, really need a clean sheet against Arsenal. And if we do hope to really win at the Emirates, we do need one. And also, we need our strikers firing all cylinders. I would like to
Yeah.
ask the predictions of everyone. I would like to start with Atharv. What do you feel Arsenal has in store for us?
I believe considering Arsenal's defense and considering our form that we have been like winning the last two games and we have been doing it pretty convincingly. So I believe I'll go for a 3-1 win. So yeah.
Smith, what do you think our scoreline will be against Arsenal?
So, so for me, the scoreline will depend on whether or not Pogba plays. So if he starts with James, Rashford, and Martial in front of him, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But if he does come off the bench and we go for a same midfield of Pereira, Matic, and Fred, then I think it's so even their midfield is not as good as we think it is. So with Ganduzi, Torreira, and Ozil, I think, and with Fred, Pereira, and Matic, it could lead to few errors here and there, and also with our defense and their defense. And as you said, we haven't kept a clean sheet against them. So, so I'm not really focusing on the clean sheet part. I hope there are plenty of goals in the game, and I hope I win. And I'm gonna also go for a 3-1 win.
Yeah, one
Okay.
thing I'd like to add to this would be that I believe we need to give the like credit to the midfield that started in the last game. It was surprising that they performed well, and I would like to highlight Matic that in the 2-3 starts that he have got, I find that he's been pretty decent and he'll come in handy against Arsenal.
Yes, I think Matic has been quite decent this season, hasn't he? He had a very good season for the first one for us under Mourinho, and I think even though we are not getting that same quality of Matic anymore, I think he had a very decent game against Burnley. Uh, Brandon, what do you think our scoreline would be against Arsenal?
Considering it's Arsenal, I think we would draw because they're not a top team anymore. I have a strong feeling we would draw against Arsenal, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm not confident about it, honestly.
Again, I think I would like to put my predictions as well. But before that, I would like to add another very interesting statistic. That is that in the last 15 minutes of the first half, Arsenal have conceded 10 goals this season. That is more than any other team, which would be exactly the kind of reason why I feel that United can actually push on and win this game. And I would go for a 2-1 scoreline against Arsenal. Thank you all of you for joining Sound of Manchester. It was a very good start to 2019 in 2019 for us as a team, and we look forward to 2020 and bringing you more and more inputs about Manchester United. Please click like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Sound of Manchester. Cheers to 2020.
Cheers.